Cliff, after looking over the film, what are some of the things you liked from last night that you'd like to carry over tonight, and some of the things you'd like to see your team improve on against the Bulls?
Well, I love the way we started the game. Obviously, that might have been the most important thing. I thought that the our defensive transition was a lot better. Um, the things we got to get better. Obviously, I mean they rocked us in the paint, driving the ball, cuts and rolls, and we have to do a better job of taking those things away. And then, in the fourth quarter, they had 10 second chance points. So for the most part, we did a decent job finishing possessions, but in the fourth quarter, they came hard. I mean, they had the big offensive rebound sequence on the free throw blockouts when Levine came in from the perimeter. And Williams was actually in the middle of that, coming in from the perimeter for the whole fourth quarter. So we're going to have to be able to finish possessions better tonight also.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, compared to his all-star season in your first season as the Magic's head coach, how does Vooch's game contrast now between then, aside from his three-point shooting?
Well, I would say I think confidence, number one. He's had, last year he also had a very good year. And I think he continues to grow as a player. That's what all the best players do. But I mean, the biggest part, I would say, Josh, which is, a significant difference, is the range shooting, because what it does is it also takes advantage of his passing. Again, we've talked about this before, but there are a lot of guys who can shoot threes, space big guys who can shoot threes, but he can both shoot and throw, penetrating passes into the paint, as he did again last night. And it's a skill that not many men his size have. But it helps our offense immensely. It opens up so much space for other people to play in.
Is he any different as a defender?
Well, I think I think that he's, I see the numbers too, if that's what you're talking about. I mean, I think look, here's the hard thing about all these numbers, right? Is, and I talk about this with David and Dylan when we meet, like for instance, last year by the numbers, okay. And, I love him. DJ Augustine was a better defender than Michael Carter Williams by the numbers, So you just have to be careful about some of the numbers. Vooch to me, is a better defender than he was 2 years ago, because I watch all the film. It also makes a difference that he's not out. We had a huge team that year. We're playing Aaron Gordon at the 3 and Jonathan Isaac at the 4. So right now we're actually small. And so there's a lot of aspects of defense that change because of size. So, the numbers may not show it, but he's equally as good or if not better a defender than he was 2 years ago.
Rob Parks, 48minutes.com.
Hey, Coach, Rob Parks here. I was actually at the game last night, and, Vooch was knocking those threes down. But do you look to exploit that matchup on the block again? Because he was eating down there.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that he does so well, and, we have to coordinate better, is, they're going to come and double him tonight. If he doesn't score quick, they're coming. They came from different places. And when our spacing was good, we got some good shots. And when it wasn't, we didn't. And so we've got to make sure that we're in the right spots when they come and double team him down there.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, kind of along the lines of the last two questions, is one of the underrated things from, the public when it comes to Vooch, just his ability to consistently make the right play. Obviously, unless you're watching, the tape consistently, you wouldn't get a sense of that. But as somebody who's coached him for a number of years, is that one of the defining characteristics of his game?
I think that absolutely, he's an elite decision maker, and you don't teach that stuff. I'll go back to Stan. One day we were talking about different players, and making quick, smart plays. And we were talking about Hidu and about, we could do this, we could do that. And this, Stan's greatness. Stan said, look, the way that Turkaloo plays, he played like that the first time when he was in 6th and 7th grade. The ball came to him, somebody was open, he passed him the ball, and he's right. Changing basketball IQ is you can't. What you can do is you can get players to stay away from the things they can't do. And in today's NBA, guys that can't make decisions and don't have good IQ, it's hard for them to be good. Now, with that being said, he's an elite decision maker. He shoots when he should shoot, he passes when he should pass, and he makes his teammates better just by the very nature of how he plays. And that's what our game, if you watch the best teams now and the best players, people talk about shooting. Shooting's a huge piece of it. But guys that can just shoot and aren't good decision makers or can't play off the dribble, that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. That's not good enough anymore. And so he gives us, he's our best playmaker, not even close, because he makes the right play. And I will say this, it's one of the things, and I don't want to get up on my soapbox here, that younger players come into our league, they don't know how to play anymore. I mean, that part of, they are more skilled. They don't understand team basketball as well. And not that none of them do, but it's the hardest thing because they don't stay in college long enough and they don't play with their high school teams enough. So basketball IQ and the understanding of team basketball is something that is significantly diminished with guys coming into our league over the last 7-8 years.
Chuck Spursky, Bulls Radio.
Coach, how you doing? Good to see you.
How are you?
You look great, and I wish you well. This was your first chance last night to see Patrick Williams. What was your initial impressions after the game?
Well, I actually watched him quite a bit for the draft last year. He was one of the guys that, would have been on our wish list, although Jeff had told me when he gave me the film, like, this guy's not going to drop to us. So I saw him play in college. And I mean, again, he has a chance to be a terrific player. Obviously, the way he's shooting the ball, which I didn't see as much, last year at Florida State, the way he's shooting the ball from three. But again, he has size, versatility. He looks like he's a solid decision maker, and he can play well in all aspects of the game. I mean, he's scoring efficiently. He's obviously a very good defender, and he can rebound. So, he's a young guy off to a good start. He's playing for a good coach and staff who will teach him well. And so you have to be excited about what you see.
Thank you.
Chris Cuff, 24 Flicks.
Hey, Coach. Quick question. Terrence's numbers have been down in scoring the past few games. What's going on with team?
Well, I think there's two parts is that what I would say, and I talked to him about this yesterday. One, teams are super locked into him right now. And he's getting so much more attention than he even has in the past. And number two is, I've got to find additional ways to get him the ball. That's something that, we have a menu of plays that have worked well for us over the first 2 years. We've tried to build on to that. But, we have to continue to find, new ways to get him the ball. Sometimes he's got three guys running at him, as you can see, and he's making the right play. But we're not going to win a lot of games with him taking 5 shots. And, I'm in the middle of that also. And that, that has to change.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, how much of a product of that, too, is, you have a new point guard back there, and obviously, Frank did a good job, but he's only had, 2 practices with Terrence, and, there's some very unique things that you guys do and run to get him open.
Yeah, no question. And I thought Frank did a terrific job. But for sure, I mean, the menu's a little bit limited because Frank's had 1 practice and now 2 kind of walkthroughs, and we'll have to grow into that. But the reality is that I've got to make sure that he's getting touches, because you can't have a guy like him taking 5 shots and then in the last 3 minutes of the game say go ahead and deliver, when there's no way he can be in rhythm taking 5 shots. I mean, and We've rarely played well offensively when he doesn't score, and we got to make sure the ball's going to him, and we have ways to create space for him.
Okay, any final questions? Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.